So call to order, yes. All right. So welcome everyone to the Monday, December 12th council meeting at the municipality of Edwardsburg Cardinal. Our first item on our agenda, or our second item on our agenda, is the approval of our agenda. I believe Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh, you have that one.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Council Ward. The Municipality Council approves the agenda as presented.
All in favor? Or wait, hold on, I missed the question I missed last week, which is, are there any changes or additions or changes to the agenda before I call the question? Sorry. Seeing none, all in favor? It's sort of got it that time. All right, number 3, which is disclosure of pecuniary interest or the general nature thereof. Does anyone have any interest to declare tonight? None. Moving on to delegations and presentations. We do not have one or any. We are on number 5, which is minutes of the previous council meeting minutes. Which is Councillor Snail. You have that motion?
Yes, I do, Mayor. The municipal council receives and approves the minutes of the regular council meeting November 28th, moved by me and seconded by Councillor Joe Martel.
Pass that to Councillor Ward if you would. And to the clerk, if you can refresh my memory again with these minutes. Are we approving the minutes of the meeting now? Are we receiving them?
Through the chair for any councillor committee of the holes, we are approving. If they are court management or library or public meetings, you're only receiving.
Okay, so we are this is regular council, so we are approved, correct? Okay, and are we looking for errors and omissions then in this as well?
Correct.
Okay, so errors and omissions from anyone in reading through these minutes?
None by me.
Okay, and we will do business arising from these later, or would we do that now?
Through the chair, that's item 6.
It's item 6. Okay, so thank you. So if there are no errors and omissions, then I shall call the question. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
So we are on to 6, which is business arising from the council meeting, if any. Does anyone have any business arising from the previous meeting minutes? None. Okay, moving on then to committee meeting or committee minutes. The first one is the public meeting for the ZBLA. Is it appropriate to say the full title, or can I just go 7?
Through the chair, you're more than welcome just to identify by 7A, 7B, 7C.
Thank you. So moving on to item 7A, I believe Councillor Martel, you have that item.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Waddy Snail, that municipal council receives the minutes of the public meeting zoning bylaw amendments 2062 County Road 22, 2017 County Road 2, 1403 County Road 2, 3209 County Road 2, dated November 24, 2022.
So again, going back, the minutes, we're approving the minutes again, clerk?
Through the chair for public meetings, you can receiving them.
Receiving these minutes, okay. And are we correcting grammar as well?
You may.
Okay. So did errors, omissions, grammar, spelling, anyone? Seeing none, then we're receiving these minutes. Moved and seconded. So I will call the question then if there's nothing to report on. All in favor?
Aye.
Moving to 7B then, public meeting, and it would be Councillor Ward.
All right, moved by myself and seconded by Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh, that council receives the minutes of the public meeting zoning bylaw amendments 3485 Glens Mill Road, 3609 County Road 21, dated December 5th, 2022.
Thank you. Errors, omissions, grammar, punctuation. Anyone? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
And 7C, which is the combined committee of the whole, admin and finance, public works. Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh, I believe you have that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and second by Councilor Chris Ward, that municipality council receives and approves the minutes of combined committee of the whole, administration and finance, public works, environmental service and facilities, dated December 5th, 2022.
Errors and omissions. Anything? All right, and then we'll call the question. All in favor? Aye. Right, so moving on again to item 8A, which is the bait fuel bass tournament item. Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh, you have item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and second by Councilor Chris Ward, that the municipality council supports and approves the Bass Station Council Consulting Group to run the one-day bait and fuel fishing derby in Cardinal on Saturday, August 26, 2023. And 2, direct staff to work with Mr. Hooper and his group to ensure proper parking is arranged for both the participant anglers and general public, as recommended by the combined committee of the whole, administration, finance, public works, environmental service, and facilities.
Thank you. Good presentation from Mr. Hooper and good discussion. So moved and second. Is there more discussion? Anyone have any items that they want to discuss on this item before I call it for a vote? Looking forward to seeing the bass tournament come. So I'll call the question then. All in favor? Item 8B, Councillor Martel, I believe you have that item.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Waddy Smail, that if municipal council approves the concept and directs staff to move forward on transitioning the council chambers to the upper level and create an improved workspace within the existing lower level of the building, as recommended by the combined committee of the whole, Administration, Finance, Public Works, Environmental Services, and Facilities.
Moved and seconded. Everybody's heard the motion. Are there comments or questions in regard to the motion before I move on? I just have one, and if everybody else will allow me a little bit of latitude to have it. Just want to make sure that we saw the conceptual design, high level design, and we were told it's a high level design, that we will see more specifics, and we will have some say in those specifics. It doesn't say that in this motion. I just want to be assured that we are going to get a look at it again before work begins, correct?
Through the mayor, yes, that certainly will be coming back.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that there'll be more than maybe a couple of different style of options with. Is that fair to say? It's locked into one option. You know, we've discussed a couple different varieties of where the screen would cut off the area, or whether it would be movable or not movable. I just want to make sure that you know that decision hasn't already been made.
So through the mayor, there will probably be some options available, but some of the core stuff will remain core included in that high level concept.
So right? Okay, thanks. Okay, so further questions from anyone?
No, I mean, I guess just so we're, you know, I did mention last meeting, I'm a little concerned just about that door there being an exit on this side of the building as well. So I think we just got to keep that in mind. I think that's important.
Yeah, by staff, I believe. Council meeting. Yeah. Happens to us all. Several times to some of us. All right, then I will call the question on the Township Hall renovation concept drawing. All in favor? Unanimous. Food cycler, item 8C. I believe that's Councillor Chris Ward.
Moved by myself and seconded by Joe. That's municipal council approves an additional municipal subsidized purchase of 100 food cycle units, 50-50 split between FC30 and the Maestro to implement another pilot program in partnership with Food Cycle Science, that the costs be included in the 2023 budget as recommended by the combined committee of the whole, Administration and Finance, Public Works, Environmental Services, and Facilities Committee.
Thank you. Further comments from the council before I call the vote? Hearing none, I will say from the mayor perspective, from a small rural community that has no way budgetable to do green recycle other than relying on people to compost in their backyard or other ways, this gives a fantastic way to remove up to 60% of food waste from garbage bags. And I think it's a fantastic program, and I look forward to continuing it. I'm glad to see that council has supported this to this point. So calling the question, all in favor? Aye. 8D, which is the 2022 audit plan. Councillor Martel, I believe you have that.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Waddy Mail, that municipal council receives the 2022 audit plan and authorizes the treasurer to sign the engagement letter as a requirement of the annual audit as recommended by the combined committee of the whole, Administration of Finance, Public Works, Environmental Services, and Facilities.
Thank you. Further questions or comments? Well discussed, I think, at committee. Other comments or questions in regard to the audit plan, Deputy Mayor?
I just have that one fees. We did do the chair to our treasurer. We're locked in here to this year, and then we're going to be looking at it the following 2024. Is that right?
Yeah, through the chair to deputy mayor, yes, we would be looking at that to do our 2023 audit in 2024. So we're signed up for the 22 audit in 23, but we will look at other options for going forward.
Good. So I'm going to call the question then, I believe, on that. So all in favor? Yes. Good. Before we go to the next one, just on that item for the folks at council, if you can, when you get, just take your pens and make a note if you want. I think reading page 43 of that, page 43 of your package, it's page 513 on that audit report is very important. I also think page 6 of 13, the one highlighted line that I put in this is those charged with governance are responsible for overseeing the municipality's financial reporting processes. So just, I think it's important all of us to make sure that we understand that is one of the biggest parts of our job. So you may want to read through that if you haven't taken the time to read it fully. Moving on to item. Did you have a question?
No, thank you.
Moving on to, I called the question that I signed it. Moving on to 8E, which is the 2023 draft low lift pumping station budget. And I believe that Councillor Smale has that one.
Yes, your mayor, moved by myself and seconded by Joe Martel, that the municipal council approves of the 2023 raw water supply system LLPS budget as presented, as recommended by the combined committee of the whole, Administration and Finance, Public Works, Environmental Service, and Facilities.
Sir. Does anyone have any questions in regard to the budget? We had a good presentation from staff on it, had a few good questions regarding it. Does anyone need any follow-up or any more information? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
So item 8F, which is pre-budget approval tender for the 5-ton plow truck, and I believe that is Councillor Cuthbert.
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Whitesville. That municipal council directs staff to prepare and issue a tender for a new tandem axle truck as recommended by the combined committee of the whole, administration, finance, public works, environmental services and facilities.
Good discussion again at committee and the need for the plow truck, especially getting it ordered now. It seems like it was stated that the delivery time is anywhere between a year and 18 months to get these. So doing proper process by getting the tender released. So further discussion by anyone? Good. All in favor? And item G, which is the OPP detachment board proposal. That is Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh. Can you bring that forward?
Sure will, Mr. Mayor. Moved himself and seconded by Councillor Ward that municipal council endorsed the joint submission of Grenville County OPP detachment board proposed to the Solicitor General of Ontario as outlined in the attached briefing note as option B, consisting of one board representing Marysville, Wolford, and North Grenville, and one board representing Augusta, Edwardsburg, Cardinal, and Prescott. And that staff be directed to work with the partnering board municipality to develop terms of reference for the board.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'm going to look to staff. If staff, could you give us a little quick discussion?
Certainly, Mr. Mayor. Just kind of sort of go back to April of 2021. The initial submission sort of proposed 3 boards. One that would be a standalone North Grenville, a standalone Prescott board, and then Augusta, Edwardsburg, Cardinal, and Marysville, Wolford would form the 3rd board. Subsequent to that, there was only 4 out of the 5 municipalities that supported that initial proposal. Augusta had put forward a alternative proposal that would be 2 boards that consisted of Marysville, Wolford, North Grenville, and second board would be Augusta, Edwardsburg, Cardinal, Prescott. So we did receive this fall from the Solicitor General with respect to that there wasn't unanimous within the original submission, and given an opportunity for the 5 municipalities to sort of come to an agreement. And through the CAO discussions and mayor discussion, that the option B, or the 2 boards with that being broke out sort of a north-south end of it, is being brought forward at all 5 of the municipalities, anticipating that it would be accepted.
Yeah, if just adding that we presently don't actually belong to the board, correct?
Correct. We with Edwardsburg Cardinal, as of right now, we are the only municipality out of the 5 that do not have a police services board.
Yeah, and the reason that we're seeing as a group this for the first time tonight is, expedience.
Mr. Mayor, we are on a little bit of a timeline with respect to getting the proposal back as an option, but in the end, the ministry still has the ability to select a different option, so to speak. They could very well choose one board, or they may accept the proposal. I think that it has some merit as presented, so hopefully it will be duly considered at the minister level.
And further questions or chime in at all?
See you, Senator.
I will say that there a little bit of a difference departure with the newer councils. There seems to be a willingness to work in a north south base that I don't know that existed in the past. We've certainly had a discussion with Prescott. Prescott was willing to come aboard with everybody as well. It seems among the 5 mayors and the CAOs that everybody supports this resolution. It will go through if we support, obviously. It will go through unanimously, I believe, once it passes through all the other councils this week as well. And we'll see what Siljan says back to us. So I think that covers it. Yeah. So if there are no further questions or further comments, we do have a mover, we do have a seconder. Okay, good. All right. So all in favor? So it is. Well, you had lots of moving on to number 9, which is correspondence. I believe that is again Councilor as well.
Moved by myself and seconded by Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh, that Municipal Council receives the correspondence listings for the following dates as previously circulated: December 5th, 2022 and December 7th, 2022.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions regarding the correspondence? None. All in favor of receiving the correspondence? Okay. Good. Okay, number 10 is the approval of municipal disbursements. I believe Councillor Joe Martell, you have the approval of municipal disbursements.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Waddy Smail, that municipal council approves payment of municipal invoices circulated and dated as follows. Report dated December 6th, 2022-182. $100,729.13. Report dated December 8th, 2022-185, $17,063.89 for a total of $117,793.02.
Typically, we would, if there were questions with the that could be dealt with ahead of time, we would send questions to the treasurer or to the CAO regarding the disbursements. However, for transparency, we certainly always have now have the ability to ask any questions in reference to the disbursements. So does anyone have any questions regarding the disbursements? One, I only have one, and it's just my ignorance, and it comes down to like special council meetings. Does it just go out once a year? Is it just once at the end of the year?
Through the chair, yes, we do all the committee council at the end of the year.
Yeah, so it's not when it happens, it's just once at the end. Okay. Okay. Further questions, anyone? No. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Small one for normal. All right, on to the bylaw section. Item number 11A, which is terms for reference for committees and committees of council. Excuse me.
Moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Chris Ward, that the mover be granted a leave to introduce a bylaw to establish terms of reference for committee of council. And this shall constitute the first and second reading thereof.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. Is there a discussion before I call the question? Is there discussion before I call the question? Anyone? No. All in favor? Unanimous. You can proceed to third reading.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Chris Ward, that the bylaw to Established terms of reference of committee and council be now read a third time, finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2022-71.
Questions, comments, discussion before I call the third vote? I'll chime in just quickly again. Thank you, staff, for the work that they did in bringing forward some options to council to make changes to committee structure. Thank you to the members around the table for offering their ideas to make some changes. I think we've done well. We've set out some good ideas with this. I'm looking forward and I'm very hopeful that the new COWAO works well. I think with the changes that we've made by using digital information and everybody being up to speed that way, I think we're going to have great success with it. So thanks for the great work that you did. I guess I have to call the question though, don't I? So all in favor, third reading. Okay, and we're looking at 11B, which is the electronic monitoring policy. Again, that's Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh.
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Ward that the move of granted leave to introduce a bylaw to adopt electronic monitoring policy. This shall constitute the first and second reading thereof.
I was doing so well tonight too. It's only $1 so far. So first and second reading. Does anyone have any comments, questions before we proceed to second reading or third reading? Excuse me. None. All in favor? You can proceed. It's unanimous. You can proceed to third reading.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Chris Ward that the bylaw to adopt electronic monitoring policy be now read a third time, final pass, signed, sealed, and numbered 2022-72.
Thank you, sir. All right, back to the electronic monitoring policy. Everyone understands exactly what it is. Bill 88 requires the township to lay out a policy regarding how it monitors employees, connections, or any use of electronics, how they're monitored. So it's just setting out a policy that we needed to have in place on January 1st, I believe it is, of this year, January 1st or January 31st this coming year. So calling question on third reading. All in favor? All right. So we are on 11C, which is to amend bylaw 2022-56. eScribe subscription agreement, Pro App, and Vote Manager. Councillor Chris Ward.
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor that the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to authorize the clerk to execute amending subscription agreements with eScribe Software Limited for the provision of professional application licenses and Vote Manager requests to speak module, and this shall constitute the first and second reading thereof.
Sword. Questions, comments on the eScribe options?
I'm excited about this one. This is, I think it's going to really help to streamline things and make everybody's life a lot easier. So I'm glad we're doing this.
Yeah. Further? First and second reading? None? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. You can proceed.
All right, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Waddy-Smail. That bylaw to authorize the clerk to execute amending subscription agreements with the eScribe Software Limited for the provision of professional application licenses and Vote Manager requests to speak module be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2022-73.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ward. Comments, further discussion? Hearing none, I'll chime in once again to echo Councillor Ward on that, and just a simple thing of passing paper. Once this is all done, we'll be able to touch the box and sign on the screen. And it seems like that's going to work really, really well. So looking forward to it. I think it's going to make things a lot smoother in the long run. So calling the question for third reading, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so development agreement for 2017 County Road 2. I believe that one is Councilor Smith.
It's moved by myself, Councilor Smale, and seconded by Chris Ward, that the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to authorize the execution of a development agreement with Madison Mulder Enterprises Incorporated, and this shall constitute a first and second reading thereof.
Been working on this one for, well, I know there was a nice storm and I missed one of the meetings last year, so it's been certainly a long time getting the first and second reading to finish this one up. So if there are further questions or comments before I do the first and second reading.
We should turn this into a novel of some sort. It's big enough anyway, so
I'm going to call the question. All in favor? It is unanimous. We can proceed to third reading. I believe the third reading you have, Councillor Smale.
That's a move by me, Councillor Smale, and seconded by Chris Ward, and a bylaw to authorize execution and development agreement of Madison Mulder Enterprises Incorporated be now read a third and finals passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2022-74.
Comments, questions at all? Hearing.
Is this the one that had the survey with how many birds they had seen there?
I don't believe so. I believe that's 14 and
Well, I was a little disappointed. It said rooster, but it didn't give any description of what type of rooster it was. And I was wondering, what's this rooster doing? Scrolling by.
It's hanging out. Okay, so before I call the question on third, I love the asides. On third reading, does anyone else have any comments or questions? No, I only have one comment. Well, maybe two or three. One is to Mr. Annable, who is in the gallery tonight. I thank you and Mr. Mulder for your patience as we go through the deep dive that we've gone through. I know you know the fulsomeness in which you guys have done your work, and I'm very appreciative that you continue to push along. I think we all look forward to seeing these developments happen. So thank you for your persistence and your perseverance dealing with the difficult issues we've gone through, and yeah, thanks for that. The only other comment I made to you earlier, I'll make it on the record now, just on page 92 of 339, number 3, first bullet point just says, you know, that it's proposed lot is for new residents, future septic tank distribution pipe, it must be located under 30 meters, blah, blah, blah. But it does say a permit will be required from the health unit office. Just want to make sure that, you know, it's not the health unit anymore, and you know that and you're aware. So having said all that, third reading, all in favor? Good. Mr. Annable, you're almost there. All right, now on to item 11E, conveying King Street in Johnstown to Johnstown Self-Storage. That's Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Council Chris Ward, that the mover be granted and leave to introduce a bylaw to convey the unopened road allowance known as King Street, Plan 6, Johnstown, is closed by unregistered bylaw number 368 between Model Street and First Street North, PR 152106, except PR 78775 Evansburg Cardinal, and this shall constitute the first and second reading thereof.
Hold on, I'm still scrolling. No, I will be happy when eScribe is working, because I'll just be able to touch the paperclip and it'll take me to the next one instead of doing what I'm doing right now.
You can do it.
302. Yeah. So we legit went from like page 90 all the way to 302. That's exactly how many reports there are, Mr. Anvil, that you had to provide for those services.
You're welcome.
Okay, so are there questions or concerns or comments regarding the first for first and second read? Anyone?
I guess this is it for King Street.
Hearing none, I'll call the question first and second reading. All in favor? Unanimous. Can move to third reading.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Snell that the bylaw to convey the unopened road allowance known as King Street Plan 6 Johnstown is closed by unregistered bylaw 368 between Water Street and First Street North. PR 152106, except PR 78775, Roseburg Cardinal be now ready. Third time finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2022-75.
Thank you. Any comments or questions before? Or anything else before we call the question on third reading? Anyone? All in favor? I thought I'd give you one more time just to. Oops, here's a good one first.
I'm going to take it back to this will be the end of King Street here. Moved by myself and seconded by Joe Martel. Sorry, Councillor Joe Martel. That the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to stop up and close and convey unopened road allowances being Queen Street, Plan 6 Johnstown between 2nd Street and 3rd Street, Edwardsburg Cardinal, and 2nd Street, Plan 6 Johnstown between part 2 15R 7494 and part 1 15R 6481 Edwardsburg Cardinal in the geographic town of Edwardsburg and the Edwardsburg Township of Edwardsburg Cardinal, City of Granville, County of Granville, sorry, and this shall constitute first and second reading thereof.
That's the one. You're gonna have to do it again. Yeah, moving along, yet another road allowance stop up conveying lots of these tonight. Are there questions regarding this one? Comments? Anyone before third reading? Okay, I'll call the question then. All in favor? Good. So we are on to G, which is Councillor Martel. I believe you have that one, which is stop up, close, convey, and open road allowance. Or oh, did I do? Sorry, was that only second? My apologies. I think I said third reading too. Sorry, you're good. It's good.
So moved by myself and seconded by Joe Martel that a bylaw to stop up, close, and convey unopened road allowances being Queen Street, Plan 6 Johnstown between 2nd Street and 3rd Street, Edwardsburg Cardinal, and 2nd Street, Plan 6 Johnstown between Part 2 15R 7494 and Part 1 15R 6481 Edwardsburg Cardinal, the geographic township of Edwardsburg Cardinal, Township of Edwardsburg Cardinal, County of Granville, be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2022-76.
And I should have remembered that it was first and second reading because I just said you're going to get to do it again. So. All right, same question as always. Comments, concerns, further discussion.
I believe that the owners will be happy to have most of their house, all of their house on one property. So that'll be good.
Good thing that happens. Any other comments or concerns? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Good. Now I believe we can go to. We're on G, I believe, right? Which is stop up, close, convey, unopened road allowance for Block Barkley. And I believe that Councillor Joe Martel, you have that.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Waddy Smale, that the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to stop up, close, and convey part of an unopened road allowance being part road allowance between lot 24 and lot 25 in section 7, Edwardsburg Part 2 Plan 15R6 142 pin 68141 0297, Edwardsburg Cardinal, in the geographic township of Edwardsburg, township of Edwardsburg Cardinal, county of Grenville, and this shall constitute first and second reading thereof.
And sir. All right, so first and second reading, does anyone have any comments or questions for the question first and second? All in favor? We can proceed to third reading.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Waddy Smail, that a bylaw to stop up, close, and convey part of an unopened road allowance, being part road allowance between lot 24 and lot 25, concession 7, Edwardsburg Part 2, Plan 15R6142, pin 68141-0297, Edwardsburg Cardinal, in the geographic township of Edwardsburg, township of Edwardsburg Cardinal, county of Grenville, be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2022-77.
Right, so third question or third reading, further comments, questions on this closing up this road allowance? Anyone? Good. Okay, I thought it was like, oh, then all in favor? Good. And I believe we're almost done with close up. So we're on to item H, which is stop up close convey part 4 and 15R-6142 in cuts. And I believe Councillor what is me?
Moved by me, seconded by Deputy Mayor Steve Dillabaugh, that the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 2022-37 and
hold on. Sorry,
Reading of the wrong resolution right now.
okay. Stop, get the right one. Yeah.
Never did that back when we did our time.
Yes, he did. It is council.
my apologies.
We good though? We're okay procedurally? We're good? Yes, okay. All right, you may begin.
Okay. Moved by myself and seconded by Deputy Mayor Steve Dillabaugh, that the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to stop up, close, and convey part of an unopened road allowance, being part road allowance between lot 24 and lot 25, concession 7, Edwardsburg Part 4 Plan 15R6142, pin 68141-0298, Edwardsburg Cardinal, in the geographic township of Edwardsburg, Cardinal, county of Grenville, and this shall be the first and second reading thereof.
Comments, questions before I call the question on first and second reading? All in favor? Unanimous, you may move to third reading.
Moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor Steve Dillabaugh, that a bylaw to stop, up, close, and convey part of an unopened road allowance, being part road allowance between lot 24 and lot 25, concession 7, Edwardsburg Part 4 Plan 15R6142, pin 68141-0298, Edwardsburg Cardinal, in the geographic township of Edwardsburg, Cardinal, county of Grenville, be now read a third and final pass, signed, sealed, and numbered 2022-78.
Thank you again. Third reading. Any comments, questions, concerns? Hearing none, call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
And last, I believe, stop up and close, which is item 11I, and I believe Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh, you have that item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Smell, that the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to stop up and close part of an unopened road allowance, being part road allowance between lot 24 and lot 25, concession 7, Everisburg North and Part 2 to Depot Road Plan 15R6142 in number 68141-0124. Everisburg Cardinal in the geographic township of Everisburg Township of Everisburg Cardinal, County of Grenville, and this shall constitute the first and second reading thereof.
Comments, questions? Call question for first and second reading. Seeing and hearing none, all in favor? Unanimous, you can move to third.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Smell that the bylaw to stop up and close part of an unrecommended allowance being part road allowance between lot 24 and lot 25, concession 7. Everisburg North at part 2 to Duplo Road, plan 15R6142, 1068-141-0124. Everisburg Cardinal in the geographic township of Everisburg, Township of Everisburg Cardinal, County of Grenville. We now read the third time, finally passed, signed, sealed, and number 2022-79.
Hold on, Councilor Deputy Mayor Delamotte. All right, further comments on third reading? Good, getting lots of these done, which is good. I will call the question on third reading, or I forget. All in favor? Aye. Now, zoning bylaw amendment board. Heard of the early to stop up and close this, and let's get on to the amendments. All right, so item J, 11J, and I believe Councillor Joe Martel, you have that.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Waddy Smale, that the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 2022-37, Turpin Contracting Incorporated on behalf of HB Holdings Incorporated, part of Lot 32, Concession 1, 3209 County Road 2, and which shall constitute first and second reading thereof.
And first and second reading on Terrapin Farms. Does anyone have any questions, comments regarding this item? First and second reading. Hearing none, call the question. All in favor? Proceed to third reading, Mr. Martel.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Waddy Smale, that a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 2022-37, Pepperin Contracting Incorporated on behalf of HB Holdings Incorporated, part of Lot 32, Concession 1, 3209 County Road 2, we now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2022-80.
Comments, questions, concerns? I just have one, maybe two possible questions for this to the CAO on page 316 of 339 under the recommendations that are there. I'm just curious, have we received more information on the private servicing of this lot? Is the plan to wait, for the site plan and site plan agreement? The way that I read it, it sounded like they had already gone ahead and done a well. But I guess that's my next question in my notes is, have they gone ahead and done their own well and septic? Or do we know that as of yet? And do they have a site plan, I guess?
So, Mr. Mayor, I'll let the community development coordinator speak to that.
Thank you, Mayor. The developer has constructed their own well on the property, so private servicing through well, and they will be continued as subject permit from the Conservation Authority now for that as well. The site will be subject to site plan control. We've been asked to provide a servicing plan with their site plan control application. So we'll learn more about servicing through the site plan control process, but as far as zoning goes, we want the private servicing, it'll be through their own well on property and
Not shared. And
not shared.
And so the last tiny little part of that question, if I may, through the CAO to the CDC, we haven't received that site plan Yeah, from the, well, they'll do it after we approve this.
We have received the site plan for that, we haven't received the service report.
Service.
Yeah, so the application is well underway and we expect to be able to bring that in.
Good, all right, good. We can look forward to seeing that then. Okay, excellent, thanks for the update. And somebody help me out, this is third reading, correct? I waited until third reading before I asked my question. Yes, okay, so further comments or questions for anyone? Hearing none, all in favor? Okay, so we are on item K, which is the zoning bylaw amendment for 2017 County Road 2 Mulder, and I believe Councillor Smale, you have that.
I do have the right one. Moved by myself and seconded by Deputy Mayor Steve Dillabaugh, that the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 2022-37. Animal Designs Company Limited on behalf of Madison Mulder Enterprises Incorporated. Part of Lot 20, Concession 1, 2017 County Road 2. And this shall constitute first and second reading thereof.
Great, to continue the fun of that discussion we've had for so long. I'm surprised that the mover was in the deputy mayor on this one. Further discussion regarding first and second reading on this property. Anyone? No, very fulsome. Yeah. So I'll call the question then. All in favor? Unanimous. Go third reading.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chris Ward, that a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 2022-37, Animal Designs Company Limited, on behalf of Madison Mulder Enterprises Incorporated. Part of Lot 20, Concession 1, 2017 County Road 2, now be read a third time and final pass, signed, sealed, and numbered 2022-81.
Comments, questions, concerns before I call the question for third reading? Anyone? No? I'll call the question then. All in favor? Looking forward, I will say this, Dave, to seeing those trusses off of the land and up in the air soon. And so that's probably not till spring, but get her going. Item yes. Zoning bylaw amendment for 1403 County Road 2 Mulder again, and I believe the deputy mayor has this one.
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Martel, that the move would be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 2022-37, Animal Design Company Limited, on behalf of Madison Mulder Enterprise Inc., part of Lot 14, Concession 1, 1403 County Road 2. And this shall constitute first, second reading thereof.
Questions or concerns on first and second reading on this property in this spot?
I think that's a rooster one.
Yeah. Okay. Any further comments or questions?
I think this was a good one to have gone down and taken a look at the site before you looked at it. It's just made all sorts of sense once you looked at it physically as well. So
yeah, definitely should do that. Yeah. Further, call the question for first and second reading. Then all in favor? Unanimous. You can proceed to third reading, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Martel, that the bylaw to amend the zoning bylaw number 2022-37, Animal Design Company Limited, on behalf of Madison Mulder Enterprise Inc., part Lot 14, Concession 1, 1403 County Road 2, be now read a third time, finally passed, signed, sealed, and number 2022-82.
Right, questions, concerns, comments before I call the question on third reading? No. All right, all in favor? Yes. I saw a fist bump right there. Well done again. Patience being rewarded. Good work, Mr. Annabelle. Keep up with the great work you're doing. fantastic work in not only our township, but Leeds Grenville. I look forward to seeing more of your applications on our table. Thanks.
Seeing the staff of the council.
Yeah, good. Thanks, brother. Have a good Christmas.
You too.
We are looking at item 11M, which is the zoning bylaw amendment for 2062 County Road 22, Marcus. And I believe Councillor Chris Ward, you have that.
Moved by myself and seconded by Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh, that the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to amend the zoning bylaw number 2022-37, Marcus Landscaping Services, part of lot 7, concession 2, 2062 County Road 22. And this shall constitute first and second reading thereof.
Thank you, sir. Comments, questions, concerns before I call the question for first and second reading? Seeing no one raising their hand, I will call the question. All in favor? Unanimous, you can proceed to third reading, Councillor Ward.
Okay, moved by myself and seconded again by Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh, that a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 2022-37, Marcus Landscaping Services, part of lot 7, concession 2, 2062 County Road 22, be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2022-83.
Thank you, Councillor Ward. All right, comments, questions, concerns before I call the question for third reading. Certainly discussed lots at debate or at committee and then public meeting. So anyone?
Just good to see another business about to start up here for, I guess, assuming the spring as well. So
yeah, absolutely nice to see this popping up for sure. So I'll call the question then for third reading. All in favor? Good. Good luck, Mr. Marcus. Item number 12 on our agenda is the CAO's administrative update, and I believe we will have Councillor Joe Martel bring that forward, and then the CAO will give us a brief overview of that update. So if you will, Councillor Martel.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Waddy Smale, that municipal council receives the CAO's administrative report as presented.
And if you may, CAO.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just highlight a few areas on the report. Just a reminder and to make sure that the public is aware that the office will be closed from noon on Friday, December 23rd, and will reopen at the regular scheduled time on Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023. We will place that in the local newspaper and also social media to make sure the word gets out. One item that I did forget to note in with respect to closure, the office will be closed between noon and approximately 1:30 p.m. tomorrow. We'll do an office potluck lunch as part of the holiday celebration. So we'll make sure that we get that out on social media and posted on the doors. With respect to group benefits, I would say some positive news that we're only looking at a 1% increase from the Sun Life group benefit plan for 2023. So that will be a big help for the 2023 budget. With respect to Capstone Infrastructure Corporation, I know that at least 3 members are aware that Capstone had made a presentation looking for a council resolution in support of an application that they were planning to put in January, and through some additional conversations with staff and Capstone, it would appear that they are not going to put in that submission for January, but they may look at putting a submission at a later date. And that was with respect to I'm hoping that I get this right with the community development coordinator will correct me. The BEST project is a battery energy support system. Something like that. It's a BEST. System which basically going to store up the energy in those lower times, and then help to supplement in those peak demand times. So with respect to upcoming meetings, there'll be a port meeting next Monday, and the next meeting will be January 9th. You'll note that in the report, January 16th, 2023 is to be determined based on the terms of reference. So to me, if council is willing, that we would make January 16th budget meeting number 1 and remove the Thursday, January 19th, 2023. That was a sort of an alternative date for the budget meeting. We'll try to keep to the Monday in January if that works for council. There'll be no meeting on the 4th Monday, as that is the Roma conference, and we would look to hold the council meeting on the 5th Monday on January 30th. With respect to Treasury, we will just looking at taking our first draw of the construction loan, and we'll be taking that on December 15th, which includes the bulk of the Spencerville drainage and I would say 25% of the Johnstown project in this particular draw, and we may look to take another draw on the Johnstown portion early in January, February, once invoices come in. So. Also, just want to note with respect to Radio St. Lawrence, the last cash flow that we received from them was July. We anticipate we will receive another cash flow in December, and things should be rectified hopefully in January or February of 2023. And right now, obviously, our receivables are up due to that end of it. And actually, the clerk wanted to, we will be looking on Monday, December 19th, that we will likely have a special council meeting following that port management committee meeting. So I just wanted to raise that up to council right now.
Directly after.
Directly after, yeah, correct. With respect to facilities recreation, just a reminder that if you'd like to have a skate with Santa, they'll be at the Radion Center on December 16th from 6 p.m. to 7:30, and on Sunday, December 18th, at the Spencer Arena from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Of note, with respect to Sophia Street, paving has been completed, and I know that a couple of members of council have received some concerns from the public with respect to the portions of Sophia Street sort of outside of the direct construction, with some breakup on the intersection of Sophia and Holly Drive, and also Sophia and Sutton. So the contractor is aware they'll be making at least a temporary repair for over the winter, and then they'll look to do a more fulsome repair in late spring, summer, when they do the paving on Mary Street. It'll be a more fulsome patch. Just another note under Public Works, just with the traffic signs, the replacements from the Advantage data inspection report will be completed early on in 2023. And we have a part-time employee with that's the majority of their time will be spent on the Spencerville sidewalk unit, so that we get a more timely response to winter operations for the village of Spencerville. Under environmental services, just of note that with respect to Highway 2 pumping station, in partnership with Radio St. Lawrence, based on a compromise hydro pole, we've done some electrical updates on that pumping station. And with respect to the County Road 2 project, we received under the ISEP Green Stream some money for the County Road 2 water main replacement. So Joel, along with the county's representative from Ingredient, met with township staff to review sort of the 90% project design stage. And that will be finalized, and we will be issuing that tender in the coming weeks with a reasonably long window. I believe it will close sometime in February. With respect to that, we want to get that information out to contractors as early as possible.
Sure. In reference to that one, just while we're there, is there an anticipated start date? Like, I mean, I know we're putting there for tender, but is there any chance that project starts this year?
Through the intent would be that the project would be commencing in the spring, depending on timing of award, and want to try to accomplish as much of the project as possible.
Continue. Sorry,
that's quite all right. Quite all right. I guess with respect to which you're all aware, the new tanker has arrived and is just being outfitted with some final pieces, and we'll expect to be in service shortly. The other note is that some fire helmets have been ordered for delivery in 2023. To avoid that price increase, and basically with the helmets, there's a 10-year we'll call it useful life end of it, and there are a number of those that are coming due at that 10-year interval. And with respect to the emergency management end of it, the final submission was done on December 2nd. So from all indications that we will have met the components required for the 2022 program, and we've already started on developing the program for 2023. So with that, Mr. Mayor, I will turn the floor back over to you and answer any questions that council members may have.
Absolutely. Thank you for your fulsome reports. There you go. It's good. Now let's open her up to some questions. I'm sure there's a few. Anyone? Devin?
I just have one to the chair, maybe to the treasurer, or the CEO. Our infrastructure and chair financing there, our draw for the $1 million for the Johnstown, Spencer and Johnstown Storm Water Management Project. We can pay that off, right? And anytime we're not locked in long term on this.
No, I don't believe so. I believe it's a construction loan. So when the construction projects are complete, we can decide whether we want to turn that into proper loan that we can amortize or pay off.
That was
sort of the same question I have.
So to clarify though, once we turn it into a loan, we can still at that point later down the road choose to pay it out or not through the chair.
So typically, from the time that the project is complete, we have a 60-day window on whether we pay back that entire amount or enter into a long-term loan. Would there be an ability there's the potential of an ability to pay that completely off at an earlier date, depending, but it would have to be paid off full, not bulk savings.
Through the chair to the CAO. The new tanker we got, did we have a tanker before? And if we did, what did we do with it? Like I knew with this, we traded it in or give it away or what?
No, through the mayor, certainly fair question. Yeah, what we did have a tanker before, and we still have that one as of right now. I would anticipate that early on in 2023 it will be declared surplus, and we will look to put that out and auction that new stock.
Thank you.
Did you have your hand up?
No, no.
Yep.
So, thank you through the chair to the CEO for clarifying a little bit of that capstone infrastructure. So it sounds like it's not gone, it's just not happening immediately right now. So, I think that's good to hear, because I think it was something we were looking forward to possibly having in the township. And, you know, we got stuck in the conversation many months ago about location and things like that. So, anyways, like I said, thank you for clarifying that, because I think that's important.
Yes, I think through the mayor, the indications are most likely that the land couldn't be secured within the time frame that was needed, and that was part of the requirement.
If everyone else is done, I go. So you guys all. So for that one, did they push back that project by a year in general because they allowed Darlington to stay open 1 year longer? Is that it kind of removed a little when they allowed the reactor to stay running, or removed a little bit of the pressure or a little bit of necessity of it? Is that where they, or was that part of that? Is this just more my
through the mayor, I don't believe that played a role in respect to the non-submission for that expedited program. The expedited program is still moving forward to the best of our knowledge.
So we may see something from them at some point, not for that expedited program.
Correct. So basically, there still is the long-term RFP submission, but there's this expedited long-term RFP that they were contemplating to do the submission on. So I believe that they're still looking at that, contemplating just the long-term RFP. That would be a later date.
My next question is one, and I honestly know that you're going to tell me you have no clue, and to email you this one, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. And I apologize in advance. Just the 1%, I noted it when I was reading through my package that it was a 1%, for the Sun Life benefits. Sorry. And that was a sizable reduction over what we saw last year. But does anybody remember what the number was last year?
Let's see.
There you go.
16%.
It was close to 20.
I want to say that it was 22%.
22. I thought it was. But sorry for not asking in advance. My apology. IO financing. So help me with my ignorance on this one, but that number, the percentage for that was not decided when we went with IO. It is now the percentage that will be flipped into at the end of that 60 or 90 days. So it won't be a number that was decided a year ago when this project went to tender or when we signed that agreement. It'd be a number that's relevant now, or is it a number that was decided upon?
It was a number that was decided upon. So we basically have a construction loan for the amount that was at the time of tender, and then we're just drawing on that. So now that we've paid some invoices, sorry, through the chair, now that we've paid a lot of those paving invoices, we can then take a draw on that loan to replenish our cash.
Right. My question, I didn't articulate it well, is just the percentage that we're going to pay interest on that amount. Was it decided when we made the agreement, or is it decided now that we've taken a draw? Because there's a big difference between when we signed that agreement from a bank perspective. I think now the interest rates have changed, what, 2 or 3% probably since then. So
let me take a
that's
look
more
at
that's more my question.
Let me take a look at the agreement.
My apologies for not asking in advance. So and I think I sent this one out in an email though. What's the normal meeting schedule going to be on the 5 Monday a month schedules? Because there's 4 of them. There are 4 this year, 4 month meetings. Oh, did you? I haven't had a chance. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but just so that we know, because it is a discussion. So
sure. I would say that typically it would remain that the regular council meeting would be that fourth Monday, in order to, meet the, those timelines.
Okay, so not fifth.
Now, fifth would be, open.
So it's not gonna go 1, 2,
So we'll go
open
1,
3, 4, 5. It's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, open 5.
potentially subject to the, court, management terms of reference. It would go, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the fifth one will be 5.
Yeah, okay. All right. For some reason in my head, I had it as in the third one would be open to give an extra week between the AO, the COWAO and that final council meeting, that it would even give a little bit more time. The third meeting would be open and the council meeting would be. I just had that in my head that was the way that it was going to be, just to give a little bit more time between those two. Sorry.
So through the chair, technically, you're both correct. Right now, since we just approved our new terms of reference, the third Monday of the month was typically always committee of the whole for Public Works and Environmental Facilities. That has now been opened up. However, our outline for council is still the fourth Monday of the month. So the third Monday is now open, and right now the court is still the third Monday of the third Wednesday of the month. And that is open for discussion and another meeting.
Yeah, I think in my mind that we were on the five meeting Mondays, or the 5 Mondays months. The fourth Monday would become court, and the fifth Monday would become council, to try to give one more week for any of the reports or any of the requests that went through AO. Would give that one extra week to get those things done. That was what I had in my mind. But if that's not the way, that's not the way. I just want to make sure when I'm scheduling my days that I have the right days, the right Mondays. So it'll be the fourth one. End of story. Fifth one we'll have off. It happens 4 times this year. So
correct. Through the chair, the only time that you'll ever see us push it to the fifth Monday is in January, for instance, where typically if there's a holiday or a conference or something, we just put it off to the Tuesday, potentially even Wednesday. But because certain members, as well as the CAO, is not returning until Wednesday or Thursday, it does not make sense to have them at the end of the week. So we'd be having it the fifth Monday. But it's very far in between that we do that.
good. And I know you said you sent me an email. I just haven't had a chance to look at it today. So good, thank you. And that, I believe, clears up mine. So we did have this moved and seconded, correct? I have it on my desk, so it must have been. All right. Further comments, questions, concerns with CAO's report as presented? Hearing none, all in favor? Good. The next item up for the meeting is we are on to item 13, which is councillors' inquiries or notices of motion. Does anyone have an inquiry or a notice of motion? Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, we'll be bringing up item for discussion of hosting a weekly open meeting for the public for ideas and suggestions. There'll be more information at our next administration and operation committee meeting.
Good, thank you. So that'll come on to the January agenda for a.
Yes.
Okay. Further notices of motion or inquiries from anyone? You have one? Yeah.
Not an inquiry or a notice of motion, but I went to the Feed Ontario presentation on Friday in Morrisburg. It was exceptionally well done in a very sad way. You know, you've got so many wonderful people working, but it's not a nice thing to be working on. The 2 takeaways I got is that food bank use is up a lot post-pandemic compared to pre-pandemic, and one of the biggest driving factors for food bank use is the thing we always hear about is affordable housing. People either you pay your rent or you pay your groceries, and you gotta pay. But it was very, very well done, and the food bank, the local food bank director speaks exceptionally well of our staff here. I don't know if she's been to the office or not.
Well, I when that came across, I thought it was something that needed to be attended by one of us, and I really can't tell you how much I appreciate you going on council's behalf and attending that. I think the food bank does fantastic work here, Rockville, all surrounding us. They all do, and there is an enormous need. You know, you shouldn't have to choose between groceries, gas, and rent.
It's a sizable gathering. It's Dundas, it's here, it was Campbell, it was Rideau Community Health. It was.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, and thanks for the update as well, because I think when we get the opportunity as council, I had forgotten that you had gone. There's a little bit on my plate these days, and it means a lot when you do those things to bring them back in this form, so that we're all aware of the things that get attended. So thank you for this.
I just maybe like to hit on a little further on that. I think they got a shot in iron with some affordable housing. Most people, I think, with new row houses going up, or
did not hear anything like that.
Yeah, I think I read an article on it that get some provincial money for more affordable housing.
Further inquiries or notices of motion? Hearing none, moving on to the mayor's report. All right. So I really don't have one, but I'm going to say a couple of.
That's good. I have that motion now. You don't have one?
No, you can wait until I'm done. Then you can move it. So there really isn't a mayor's report. But it's really quick. It's really simple. And first, I mean, ultimately, I guess we're having a very brief meeting after the port meeting, but with staff in attendance for a council meeting tonight. I just wanted to say a very heartfelt thank you to all of our staff. You know, it's been a difficult year. We made it through the election. You guys have had a lot of work on your plate. It's been a very, very busy township with the zoning bylaw process and you know, the appeal and then the delays and how difficult that is. I just want to say thank you for a fantastic year, a successful year in difficult times yet again this year. So so thank you. So golf clap. And I'd like to wish all of our staff, all of my fellow council members, all the members from our community, and all of their families a very Merry Christmas, very prosperous and healthy New Year. And I will maybe point out to Councillor Martel that the staff here have been doing a little challenge for our food bank. And if you see all those little blue bins back, not little, big blue bins back there, that's the donations as everyone is bringing in, filling them up. And, you know, they should be proud of the good work that they're doing, having that little challenge. So well done for helping out, doing the little part. So I think that's it for me. So you can move it and second it and get it on there.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well done. Moved by myself and seconded by Councilor Martel that this council receives the mayor's report as presented.
And deputy, I don't imagine there could be any questions to that mayor's report, but are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? All right. And moving on to question period. I don't think I saw anybody online. There's nobody online, is there? No. Okay, so we have no question period. We have 0 closed session. And I believe that Councillor Smale, you have the confirmation bylaw. If you would bring that bylaw forward, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chris Ward, that a bylaw to adopt, confirm, and ratify matters dealt with by resolution be now passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2022-84.
I'll call the question then. All in favor? Confirmation bylaw, yes. And non-debatable motion, Mr. Ward for adjournment.
All right. We won't mess this one up. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Joe Martel that municipal council does now adjourn at 7:58 p.m.
7:58. I'm gonna write that one in nice big bold letters, folks. All right, non-debatable, non-discussable, all in favor. And we're here.